Oh, am I on? I don't know. Let's double check. Uh, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know it's working. Boy. It says it is, but I don't. Oh. Oh my gosh. Okay. 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 I think I know what's going on. I think we are in business. Think it's actually working. Did I actually figure out how to use OBS? Oh my gosh. Well, hello, Endless Void. Welcome to Comics Undone. I am Shell, and as promised from an earlier stream, we are back and we are doing some drawing. Yes, we are. We are going to draw. Where did we leave off last time? Well, last time what we were drawing was making ugly AI or cute AI kitties ugly. It was a two-session kind of drawing. We ended up actually getting to a second session. The link should actually be in the description below if you want to catch up on where we're at with the conversation right now. However, from that point, we discovered that we got to go back to our roots. We got to be drawing some superheroes. We got to be doing some comic book stuff. And as you can see, today's challenge, we are going to be venomizing Keanu Reeves' assassin extraordinaire John Wick. 30 minutes on the clock. We have to see how much we can actually do in that time. This is not a beat the clock event. It's just 30 minutes. We're going to see how far we get into this. This is either make haste or make waste. We will see. Let's start the clock. Oh boy. Try not to feel anxious. Here we go. Okay. Now, I am starting off with actually a pretty recent John Wick image. This is from the most recent movie. I have not seen it yet. I went with this actually just because it's probably the most detailed image I was able to actually at least find of Keanu Reeves. Nice up close face image. As you can already see here, I'm going to move over to this. Here we go. I already actually drew a line going through his face just where I kind of see the venomizing thing happening. I just kind of want to be taking over one side of his face so we can see exactly what the original face was and then what we're doing to change it. I'm not gonna lie, I was having some difficulty thinking about ideas about how to go about doing this without making this just look like Venom. I think we're going to play heavy on the contours. Cheekbones. Oh, we'll see about a mouth. I do have an idea. Here, let's start off with a light sketch on top. Okay, so, as always, using Procreate. I'm a big fan of Procreate. Not just because it's on the iPad, but honestly, I find all different types of brushes that they have incredibly stellar. And the fact that a lot of artists do sell their own brush tips as well. So if you do follow any other artists or there's certain styles that you really wish that you could draw like, so that's just finding a digital artist who draws in that vein, following them, and then finding out what types of brush tips they use for their digital drawings. Okay, so what I'm doing here, first and foremost, is I am following just some of the natural contours on Johnny's face here. Try not to take his facial hair into consideration because I feel if the symbiote was all over his face, I don't think you'd be able to see the indentations or anything of the facial hair underneath the symbiote. I think it would just be that sleek, flush look, right? Like in the Venom movie, like you can't really exactly tell that Tom Hardy is underneath the Venom suit, right? It's Venom. Now, one idea I had about this drawing, because I always find that whenever a symbiote overtakes a host, at least most of the time, it seems like they enhance certain characteristics, whether they be dark characteristics or what have you, of their host. Um, with John Wick, I kind of thought it'd be kind of cool if I'm kind of thinking like almost Punisher vibe type of thing. Not as in like making him into the Punisher, but I mean, if the symbiote did something to supplement John's fighting styles. So, uh, I don't know if you can even see, like right behind me, there's a dry erase board here. I was actually sketching out some things you can kind of see right there. There's a head there, and there's John's hair, and it looks like a Spider-Man eye. Okay, because what I'm kind of thinking is, so John Wick tends to only wear suits, dress really slick like that. I was thinking it'd be kind of cool if the symbiote kind of made him look a bit more like Neo. So if the symbiote kind of almost had tendrils or was kind of billowing a little off him, almost like almost like a trench coat type of a style. And even on top of that, the frill of like maybe the trench coat, maybe maybe the mouth isn't like an atypical Venom type of mouth. What if his mouth or his full entire face looked like the Black Spider-Man, but actually his mouth was kind of down here, like part of the jacket or something. I'm just kind of thinking like how the interlocking of like the zipper or something in like a leather jacket could be like this opening maw. I don't know. I have this like it can go crazy. I mean, I only have a picture of his face, so obviously I can't do all that type of a detail, of those details with it. But I think I might be able to incorporate some of those. Those are pretty wild, and we're 6 minutes in, so okay, let's see what I can actually do with this. Okay, so first I started off with here. Let's go back to I want you guys to see. There we go. So we mainly have the division of his face there. So on the right hand side, that's where I see. Originally, I was going to put the Venom symbiote on the right hand side, where most of the light is, and then keep John Wick's face on the left side, where all of the more like the orange tones are. But I kind of think I might do the reverse, and I'm noticing something purely by habit. I think I usually, when I'm venomizing a character or whenever I'm doing these symbiote type of drawings, I think I usually tend to put the symbiote on the right side. I might have to look through some old drawings. I'm not 100% sure. So this might be a comfort thing. You know what? I need to grab my glasses. I'm going to be right back. Sweet, I can see. Oh, I probably should have stopped the timer. Oh well. Oh well. Well, let's just make life more difficult. Here we go. Okay, so okay, yeah. The first thing we did is we put a line going right through the face. That's to create the division as to which side is going to have the symbiote and which side will not have it. The second thing that I like to do from here is now I start to trace out major contours on the face that I want to still see reflected on the symbiote. So usually that would be like, so for this, the cheekbones is going to be a for sure. When I say for sure, not as in like I would do that with every one of them, but at least here, Keanu has pretty deep set cheekbones, and I kind of want to go with that. Yeah, so that's gonna be there. And what else here? I'm not going to. The nose will not have any definition. I don't even know if I've ever seen any symbiote with any type of any definition on the nose. They usually kind of make that quite flush, and I'm going to stick with that. Brow line. He has an incredibly heavy brow line, so we're going to also we're going to honor that. We're going to keep that in there as well. The hair is not going to stay. I I'm not 100% sure on if I want to come up with something creative in its place, like to um, give you the idea of the hair there, or just how, like, like in Venom or Spider-Man, it's just usually completely covered. The hair would be there, of course. Serrator jawbone. Well, now with the jaw, now this is another thing that I found I was really putting a lot of thought into. Because now, the two major symbiotes that I usually go to, I don't usually think of Carnage. I do like Carnage. I just don't usually think of him when I think of when I'm drawing symbiotes and who I'm going to be modeling them after. I just think of Carnage as very unique unto himself. So it's not usually a one I use to model my characters after. Venom and the Black Spider-Man. So symbiote Spider-Man, unlike Venom, didn't have a mouth. There's very few other symbiotes that also didn't have the huge maw. And I think there's something really cool to that, uh, or that it's hidden. I feel like the symbiote Spider-Man almost mimicked a like a ninja type of look. Like there was this, like, looked like a fighter, whereas Eddie Brock Venom has brawler aspect. It's very feral looking. The mouth gave this very feral look. So with John Wick, that's why I was kind of thinking, like, I kind of like the idea of there not being this huge maw, because he's kind of this like silent killer. He's almost kind of like this a ninja in a suit type of a feel, and I kind of, or samurai-ish kind of a feel. So I kind of wanted to do something still with that essence, with that type of energy. So I thought having this huge mouth with teeth everywhere and all that, it just didn't, what I mean? It just didn't seem like it would go with the personality of John. I mean, unless we're going on the idea that the symbiote has a completely different personality, or bringing out a completely different aspect of John's personality. It could be that, but I'm not going to go with that. No, I also still am going to stick with the idea that I was saying earlier about, I like how John wears his suits all the time, and I like the idea that maybe the symbiote is like a leather jacket, or mimics a trench coat, like completely black, like you don't see any detail in it, but just like almost the shape of it. Um, yeah, like it's bringing out his inner Neo. Okay, so now we already have some preliminary lines for sketching. Now what I would do from here is as you can see, I have another layer underneath the blue lines. The blue lines are just my sketch, just kind of rough idea. And now underneath that, I have a blank layer. I am going to go with, what color should I go with this? Let's go with a dark gray. I'm not going to go straight to black. I do envision the coloring here being black. But I'm not going to go straight to that just because I won't be able to really see my drawing. So in this case, usually I do like starting with my heavy dark tones and then working my way up. But considering this is an incredibly dark drawing or picture that we're drawing on top of, I'm going to have to pick lighter tones and just fudge my way through. Now from here, I'm just going to be throwing this gray on top of just where I kind of initially envision the symbiote. I don't know, skin, goop, goo. What would you call it? What is it actually? Yeah, it's not really skin because it's all it is, right? Like it's the slime or just the symbiote. There we go. Okay. Great. Amazing. Okay, cool. So from here, what do I want to do from here? Because you know what? Okay, I'm going to erase a little bit here because I have a bit of a different idea with the collar. Okay. Oh, time's on the clock, time's on the clock. I'm trying not to get into the mentality. I don't want to try and beat the clock. This isn't about beating the clock, because if I get stuck in that mentality, this drawing is going to look like absolute donkey dick, and I don't want it to turn out that way. I want to do Keanu right. I want to do good by Keanu. Okay, so this layer, erase. Okay, because what I'm actually thinking, I went a little too crazy with this. Maybe a leather jacket, like as in like a biker jacket, because I think that, like, the juxtaposition of like having this character who half of themselves is in this really like just sick suit, and then the other side is kind of like this alien symbiote that happens to be kind of like taking this look of like leather, and even like the strap and even maybe the positioning of the teeth are starting to like line up as almost like the zipper kind of, you know what I mean? Like, I think that could be actually, I think it would be really, really cool. In that case, man, okay, I'm liking the idea of where this is going more than where I'm liking where the drawing is going, because I'm starting to maybe think that like I might want a full body picture to work with. I think I might. I think there's a robber in my house. I'm being broken into. Does this happen? Does this happen? All right. Okay, so I'm not going to start over though. Like, I still do see value in sticking with this. I want to show you guys what we can do with this, because we have 12 minutes still on the clock. I don't want to waste that 12 minutes just talking about the things that I want to be doing and totally ignoring my drawing, and, you know, like, I'm just looking at stuff and not like actually applying my time to the drawing. because we are going to do another one. We're going to be actually doing another John Wick full body because now I'm a little too inspired. Okay, here we go. Just going to lighten my outlines a bit. And we're going to do a little bit of shading and contouring, I think. Actually, no. I'm going to go for the eye. Yeah, let's start doing the eye. New layer. And let's take this and make it a little lighter. As always, sticking with my airbrush. I tend to always stick pretty heavy with the airbrush. Okay, I think the eye... I don't think he would have like a really big like Spider-Man type eye. I actually feel like it would be more like I think just more like smaller, like not taking up as much face real estate as the atypical Spider-Man eye. But we still have to do something that like gives that feel, right? So what would make a good looking eye? Maybe like, it's like if you just go with a small like slit, it looks very much like an Iron Man kind of thing. I kind of want to stay away from that. But you know what? We can use a little bit of his natural cheekbone, actually. Okay. I see where this is going. All right. I'm making an executive decision to stop the clock because I've been talking a lot and I'm going to catch up a little bit on drawing. If you did see from my previous stream, I explained how, for me, a lot of my drawing tends to come from not so much as the application of the paint or the ink, in this case, like the digital ink. For me, usually my drawing comes from me removing. I like using erase tools a lot. So I will usually put a generous layer of paint in the area of what it is that I'm trying to create or draw. And then I kind of almost like carve it out, you know? I kind of just slowly find it in that blob of color. Okay, so what I'm doing right now, as I'm being really, really gentle with erasing. So I'm following some of the cheekbone lines here. Here, let's see. I can't really point it out here. I'll go back to another layer. We'll go to this, and we'll go red. Okay. So I'm trying to follow this area right here. I'm basically mimicking this over here. His eyes have a bit more of a sunken look. However, I'm not going to mimic a sunken look on this side. You know, it just, for his character, that adds in actually a lot. The sunken eye, for him, tired, there's part of that drive. He's been like completely, at this point, this is what, John Wick 5, everything he loves has been taken away from him. There's nothing soft left in this character at all. So we're just trying to amplify that hardness, right? If anything, that's all I'm kind of bringing to the symbiote side, is just that edge, the absolute lack of empathy you know, just dark. Now let's move this. I think the eye. Now this is also a benefit of using digital is, there we go, just move the whole eye. Let's see where it looks better. Think about there. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Now let's go to this layer. Now what I'm going to do for my, this is now, okay. From a previous stream, I did address quite a bit about something that a lot of artists will do. And they'll break, basically they'll break all the laws of physics with their drawings and place light and shading where it absolutely doesn't exist, just to enhance the drawing. I try not to usually do that. I'm 100% going to do that right now. It's probably just going to be temporary though. For me, it's a bit more of like a tool of helping me get an idea of the depth or the perceived depth I'm trying to actually emulate on here. So then for certain layers, as I go, I know what colors to kind of apply. It's kind of like a roadmap, I guess. Because especially with something like this, where the symbiote is going to be very devoid of any of the features of from John's face. I have to have some idea of what's what my thought process was from one session to the other. Because as you can kind of tell, it's looking like this. And just like Johnny Boy here, we may have to go into a chapter 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe not. Maybe not 5. I'm going to try and aim for. Now I have an idea of what I want to do with this. I think I could finish this in about 2 sessions. 2 sessions of very, very focused drawing. So, what that means is then 5 streams. If you do the math, I think I may want his whole entire, maybe, talking a bit to myself here, sorry, incomplete sentences. I'm not very happy with that, I'm going to be honest. Let me try this. I'm going to keep that. Okay, I'm going to go ham on this. It's 10 minutes back on the clock. And we'll go focused. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, now I'm seeing where I want to do the lines. Oh no, I wish I discovered this earlier. Oh man, I'm getting like Star Wars, like Mandalorian, Star Trooper, Stormtrooper kind of vibes for the eyes right now, and I'm really, really digging that. Yeah. Okay. Let's fill that in. Now, also, all this drawing I'm doing right now, this is not, um, it's not destructive. I'm not drawing on top of the actual drawing. Like these are separate layers. I don't want to try as hard as I can to not muck up the original layer, the original drawing. That's just me. I usually really like to try and maintain as much as possible the integrity of each layer as much as possible. That being said, if you're working with an older drawing pad, you might be working with a pretty finite memory. So sometimes you might have to merge your layers more often than you really want to. That's okay. So it's supposed to be a half-hour stream, guys. And I've cheated! I've cheated! That was part of the challenge. Let's try and do this in a half hour. And I stopped the clock. You know what? I did that because I also do want to actually get some drawing done. I do have a bit of the gift of gab, and I will usually go a little too far with explaining things without actually applying it. So I want to make sure that for the next stream, we have a really, really good, clear idea of where this is kind of going. What if his hair was actually falling out over it? I could kind of see that too. That may work as well. Okay, and so I'm going to stick with the white for making some of my outlines, because I think I am going to go with a mouth. I've backtracked on some stuff I was thinking. I think it'll just really, really help with giving, making this look like an actual symbiote, right? We'll still follow some of the contouring. If anyone's in the chat, I 100% apologize that I have not looked at the chat once. I know you're there. I know you're there. I can't see you. I can't see you. I gotta focus on the drawing. I'm gonna say I'm not really. I'm having a hard time with this John Wick drawing. I'm having a very, very difficult time with this one today. I'm having a hard time like visualizing fully what it is that I want from this one. I think that's where the issue is. We have 5 minutes on the clock. Can I do this in 5 minutes? Shoot. Watch me do this in 2. Okay, now what did I just say? Now what did I just say? What did I draw my... I'm referencing my board. I see. Okay. All right. I see. We will. We have 4 minutes. We have 4 minutes, guys. Okay. I'm not going to leave you guys without a drawing. No matter what it is. So even if we're going to improvise, that's what we got to do. That is just what we got to do. I'm going to go on the opposite side of his face this time. And we're going to work with the actual features. Oh yeah, looks like he's aviators. I get a lot done at work. Don't judge me. Okay. I was like, geez, does this guy actually draw? Or does he just talk about drawing? Well, let me tell you. Like, no, really, let me tell you. Because I can't draw. I will talk about drawing quite a bit. His eyes like really, really narrow now. Okay. Actually. You know what? I think this whole clock thing, I know I said I wasn't going to try and beat the clock, but it 100% has sabotaged me. And I've been focusing on trying to get this done faster than just trying to get this done right. So this has been not a great execution of what I wanted to do, guys. I really, really actually thought that this clock idea would be something that would just keep me on point. But all it's really ended up doing is kind of making me stress about trying to get this done in a half hour. You know what we're going to do? What we're going to do is we're going to recoup this. Axel, don't know if you're there, man. If you are, know that we're going to be coming back to that again. I have to come back to that with far more revision, my man. Because it looks like all I got is a really, really ugly cat. I'm sorry, Axel. I'll figure it out. We'll do a little ugly cat drawing. We got, you know what? I'm going to put 2 minutes on the clock for this. 2 minutes! 2 minutes of ugly kitty cat drawing. Because you know what happened? This was a drawing challenge, ladies and gentlemen. You know how we started? Really strong. You know how we ended? Well, we failed. That's just what happens. What can I say? Not every time do you come through with a challenge. Just is what it is. But what can I say? I just really want to draw. I really want to draw. So if you're still there, if you're still watching, and you're here for a John Wick drawing, come back to the next stream. If you just want to see some drawing, stick around for a couple more minutes and let me just make this ugly cat a little bit more ugly. Because I know that I still have some more juice in me for this bad boy. For those who haven't seen this cat from where it was before, if you want to see the cute AI generated cat, this is what we started off with. We're making it into a super, super ugly Pokemon, ladies and gentlemen. Layer by layer. Throwing this all back on here. This is what happened the last stream. If you want to see how we got to this, click on the link in the description below. It's just a short stream. Just a short stream. It's just about 2 hours. Just about 2 hours, not a half hour. But as you can see, we made a lot of progress in that one. No timer in that one. Okay. There, that's the layer I needed. So where we were going with this one, it's not just a matter of just how ugly we want to really make this. We do also want to make it look like it actually belongs in this beautifully well-lit world. Um, and we still want to ride the line of cute and ugly, something that is absolutely horrendous and that you wouldn't want to really get next to, but, if it was down and out, you'd probably, you know, maybe let it inside. Uh, Backyard. Backyard at best. The color themes we were going with this one was yellow and purple. Yellow, you can see that we replied quite generously. The major challenge in this one was trying to find where to place the purple. I still actually don't know. I don't know. We were originally going to make this frill on the top of its head, and as you see on its back and its tail, that was actually going to be its tongue. We didn't go in that direction. We still could, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I really don't think so. But I think today let's focus on purple. You know what? We're talking about challenges. I don't want to completely fail. I didn't come through with John Wick. I let John Wick down. I let Venom down. I let Axel down. I let all these people let down. I got to come through with some of these challenges. So last week's challenge was adding purple. Purple and yellow. I halfway came through with the challenges last week. Okay. So what we'll do is, Mr. Timer is set at 35 seconds. I'm going to put 107 on the clock. Let's see what we can do with purple. And 107. Okay, so with this brush, oh yes, I like using the textured brush. We're going to go with charcoal. Charcoal is really good at emulating fur. Where are we at? Yes. Layer. Layer. Dwaka. Now, as we discussed in the previous stream, this is one of those great examples I was just talking about earlier about light and shading being put into a picture where they atypically shouldn't be. I'm trying to actually neutralize that. I'm trying to make it look a tad bit more real, at least from a lighting perspective. Okay, so another cool thing about using Procreate is if you're someone like me who likes to use the erasing tool, you can actually, everything that is a brush to apply paint can also be an eraser. So just as I applied charcoal in purple, what I want to do is, because charcoal is really, really great for giving you a bit of a blurred out look, but it also gives you a granular aspect, so it gives you a mid area for depth. If you're drawing, like say something like this where there's quite a few different layers of depth. There's the face, which is the closest to you, so everything there will be very, very sharp images, very sharp lines. Everything furthest away will be a little blurred out, right? So when you're using tools like charcoal, the really nice thing about that is because it's not a really, really specific edged tool. So it gives you some fine lines and it gives you a little bit of kind of blown out aspect. So it gives you a really good mid area. It's not really a great tool for having, creating really good depth of sharpness for the foreground because it doesn't have that sharp edge. And it's not really good for the absolute background because it still has a little bit of grittiness and granular and a little bit of detail. So it's perfect for just that mid area. So I'm using it for the body area, right? Because that's as far as the depth is concerned, that is the mid area. So what I'm going to do to add a tad bit more fur though is with the erase tool, I'm going to make the erase tool into, if we go to materials, there is it is hair, so it's flowing hair. It's kind of just like a bunch of flowing lines really, that's all it is. But I'm going to use that as my erase tool. And time's run out, and that is okay. So I want to show you how this works. First and foremost, I just want to show you how this works, really. I think that if you are the type of person who does a lot of use erase tools, then you're probably someone who is a sketcher. I think I've addressed this in a previous discussion, because it's all in the motions and how you use your drawing tools. So for me, I first started drawing as a sketch artist. So as you've probably seen someone who's sketching, there's a lot of back and forth. It's like a scribble type of effect. Now, when you really practice that sketching, it's not about applying the same pressure. You actually become really, really practiced at, as you're kind of doing the strokes, certain points you're putting a tiny bit more pressure, and at certain points you're actually letting up. Doing the hair is actually a perfect example of that, because you want to establish some darker lines or some more heavier detailed lines and some more blown out blurred ones, and you can get both in the same stroke, but it's all in how you're actually using your utensil, right? Okay, let's use that one. I'm going to clean this up just a bit more, just the edges. And now, you know what the really good part is? Because I've been wanting to do this unfortunate John Wick stream for a while, but me being the technological giant that I am, it took me over a week to really figure out how the hell to use OBS. And if you were here from the beginning, you saw how well I figured that out. But the cool part is, now I know how to actually do this. So I can kind of draw on stream anytime. And as much as I definitely will be doing these drawing challenges, let's just say that the John Wick one was a preliminary. I didn't do John right. I didn't do the Venom symbiote right. I didn't do well by Axel. We're going to do a mulligan. We got to have a mulligan. I mean, this was a very obvious mulligan. I went to another drawing. Like, I failed so hard that I went to another drawing. Like, we can't let out on that, guys. We just can't. So, what day is it today? It's Tuesday, right? Yeah. It's Tuesday, October 17th. Thursday. You know what? No. I'm actually going to be doing this tomorrow. But I'm going to be doing this in the middle of the day. I'm sorry for people who can't join me, but this is got to get back to the heart of what I love doing here, and this is drawing. And the challenges will definitely be happening on Thursday. But if you want to see this cat, if you want to see where this cat is going to go, tomorrow, midday. I think where are we at right now? My time right now, it's about 8 o'clock. And I'm thinking lunchtime. Lunchtime tomorrow, if you want to see a cat drawn even uglier, you know where to be. Ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize for not coming through on my John Wick challenge, but I do thank you for being here to see me try and to see where it will go. And it will go. And it will go. And I do thank you for just, spending some time with me as I draw. I get rusty and I need practice. So you spending time with me while I practice and get better at what I like to do, it means a lot to me. I do also have a stream coming up for Friday, and that is specifically, it's actually a talking stream. We're going to be talking about other creators, the creator format, how to support other creators. I'm pretty small on the scale. This actually doesn't really have to do with me. It's more so on the confusion on, if you don't have money and want to, like, say you want to give someone a super chat or something, but you don't have the ability to, there's so many other ways that you can support someone who's creating content that you love without having to spend a freaking dime. And I have all the ways to do that. So I'm going to help walk you guys through that. Thank you again for spending today with me, for spending more than a half hour. It was supposed to be a half hour, but we'll figure this out together. Thanks so much, guys.